Good day, everybody. This is E. Marcel Pertut, and welcome to another edition of the Original Free Kick. In this edition, we're going to preview Atlanta United's upcoming home contest against Nashville SC with audio and video from manager Rob Valentino and player Dax McCarty. Before we get to them and preview the contest, make sure you go and follow our main page, the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for the news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms, Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up under E. Marcel Pertut, Etienne Marcel Pertut, or the Sports Inquirer. You'll be able to find us and see us there. And finally, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, including YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and more. Once again, this is the latest edition of the Original Free Kick, and we're previewing Atlanta United's upcoming contest against Nashville SC. Lots been happening with Atlanta United over the past few weeks. Got a big road win against Charlotte a few weeks ago, but also saw the departure of the team's first technical director and vice president, Carlos Bocanegra, has been with the team since its inception years ago, and he was relieved of his duties earlier this week. So, or actually late last week, early into this week. So we do talk to Rob and Dax about that. But we're going to start with interim manager Rob Valentino, talking about that, the departure of Carlos, the upcoming contest against Nashville. And he starts off his comments giving an injury report status on several players. So let's get to Rob right now. Enjoy.
Everybody is healthy?
Ronald's got an ankle problem.
Oh, okay.
That was unfortunate.
When did that happen?
That happened during the break in one of the training sessions.
Okay. Yeah. Is he out for long term?
No, I don't know. I don't have a timeline on it, on that one. But yeah.
Okay.
So I don't.
But he's the only one.
He is at the moment.
Okay. So what was the focus of work during this break?
It was a bit tricky. We had three guys away on international duty. We prioritized some guys playing with the second team. We sent quite a few guys there to get some game rhythm. And then the guys that were here, we were focused on getting guys fully rested and healthy. If there was any kind of niggles or things like that we made sure that they were getting taken care of. And at the same time, we wanted to make sure we got some work into them. So focused a lot about just attacking, whether it was position-specific stuff or it was things in a build situation. We had low numbers, which was great. I enjoy it. I don't know how much they love those when it's just 8 to 10 guys in a session, but it gives us a lot of time to really spend more one-on-one time, or its player-coach ratio is a little bit smaller, so getting more emphasis and more focus there. So we looked on little build patterns, final third stuff. That's been a big point of emphasis that we touched on, just finalizing plays. That's the language we keep using, finalizing plays, and that's on both ends. So when we do any kind of defending stuff that we did throughout that week was about finishing tackles or finishing stopping plays there.
What worked well against Charlotte that is applicable to success against Nashville?
I thought there was a real collective understanding of the way we all played. In stretches, I think I look back on the game, my initial reaction, you weren't there post game, by the way.
I know.
So it's okay. But
I won't be there any liberty.
But my reaction or my thought post game, I think even after watching it was pretty similar. That there was times where we attacked pretty well, there was times where we defended pretty well, and then there was a good chunk of the game where we had to suffer. After we did score the goal, something did change in the team a little bit. I think when you're in a moment like we are, that maybe it was a little tense, or we stopped doing things that got us to that moment to get the goal or create the goal. I like the way that the players combined and moved off each other. The way we decided to play a little bit more direct, or where we decided to play through. But there were some good moments there. Again, still a work in progress for sure, but there was some good signs there. It was a good. Alexi integrating into the team helps. Yeah, so we're going after now.
Now that you've seen him in some significant minutes, how can you use him to help the team get 3 points in as many games as possible?
Yeah, I think it's them getting used to him getting used to his teammates, getting used to the league and players he's playing against. I think you can see an impact that he does have on his teammates, and sometimes it's not direct. It's not a. This is what I was telling you guys about him. He's a different type of player, so sometimes you might not see him actually on the ball, whether it's facilitating for his teammates. You might see him be just in a good space that occupies an opponent, and then eventually maybe in 3 passes, then he ends up with the ball, or he ends up with a pass that helps link the play. He's got really good understanding of space and teammates and where they're moving. So that integration process has been quick, and it has to be at this moment in the season.
There's been a major change in the front office with Carlos's departure since we've last spoken. How do you handle that and approach with the team? Because that is a major move. And how does it affect your dynamic as a manager? Because we talk to you all the time, like, talk to Carlos about this, or I'll refer to Carlos about that. How does this new setup really impact you personally, and then how do you help the team get through this?
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's been like this with any change. So you've got these emotions that you deal with, and for me, it's sadness. I've worked with Carlos for a long time. I've got a great personal relationship with him. I never want to normalize this part of it. I know that everyone says, yeah, this is part of the business, and it's normal. He probably might say the same. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling when you have working relationships or even in personal relationships with people that happens. So I don't love normalizing that and say, oh, it's just part of the business. It is. That's true. But I have a conversation with him, and he's rooting for us. I know that's for sure. Behind the scenes, he did everything he can to help us in those moments. And at the end of the day, too, is like I have seen things like this happen. And so now it's about how we can move forward collectively. It's not about dismissing what happened. We've talked about before, as soon as I did take over, it was about the shared ownership, shared success. So it's the one thing that I would say that I love being part of a team, is that that doesn't just rest on one person, doesn't rest on one player, one other staff member. So it's a collective that we have to improve the team and push forward. So yeah, I had my feelings with Carlos, and I wish him well in everything that he goes and does. He's really helpful for me in a lot of different ways, and his family is some people I care about. So I wish him well in all those adventures. But now moving forward, the group is, and my job is, my focus has to always be on the group. So now I move forward with the people that are here, and whether that's the team and the front office staff members that now I work with.
You look at Nashville, it's a little bit different than they've been over the years, and they're kind of in that process of changing. Does that make it more difficult in game planning on your end?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of a sample size to see what BJ has done as he's come in and try to implement some different things. There's an understanding of who the players are. We've seen a lot of them in this league. There's familiarity from players in our locker room who know those personalities and what those players can bring. You can definitely see that they are trying to change things, and that's going to happen when you have a new coach that comes in. So it's about getting the, whether it's the analysis or the data set of what they do well and what they are trying to improve, and where we can kind of exploit those areas.
How much do you think these 2 weeks have really helped Alexi kind of blend in more and get more comfortable?
That's a good question for him. I would hope a lot. I mean, just the familiarization of whether it's off the field, finding a place to live, just understanding where grocery stores are, just little things that maybe you just don't think about. That familiarization and making sure he adapts really, really quick. I think that part's really important. I've touched on that a lot with him and all the players about the personal side of things, what they are like as people. That there's a lot of that. We spend 2 hours, 3 hours with them here. So there's a lot that we can get into, but at the end of the day, he's got to go live his life differently in a new country, different things that are happening around him. So that part is really important, how him and his wife adapt here. So he's had that time. At the same time, he's had time to train, get to know his teammates more. He comes to work every day with a smile on his face, so I hope we can keep that going, and he understands that this is an important part of the season. So I also think that getting him to flip into the mode of like, all right, 7 games left, 1 game at a time, and really push us over this line here.
There's still, with 7 games left, a lot to be settled in the standing, especially where you guys are. Is it too early, because there are still 7 games, to kind of be focusing on that? You know, these games have a playoff feel as far as what we have to get results to get wins, or how do you approach each of these games now, knowing where you guys are in the standings and kind of what's at stake?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it all along, and it's the way I feel you should look at things, that whether it's at the beginning of the season or towards the end or in the middle, that outcome is always the same for us. We always want to win and we get 3 points. And I think that if you have that importance, or you stress that importance all the way through, you know that with throughout the league in the middle of the season, you drop a point here, it matters at the end. So I know that now. I can't control what's happened in the past. Now I can only focus on the game we have. We want to get 3 points on the weekend, and that we know will have implications of whatever the standings will be. But if I focus on the standings right now we're on the outside looking in, but we didn't even play a game. We just won the last one, and now all of a sudden, like, we're rewarded with not being in it. So I can't let that sway our decisions and how we are. I try to stay really consistent with the players, intentional about what we do and what we say. Again, the outcome is always we want to win and get 3 points, and that won't be any different now. And focusing on one game at a time will be really important at a time like this, where there'll be 3 games in a week, and so there is a short period of time you have to think about that. But at the same time, I've said it all along, if you lose focus of what you got right in front of you, you will miss the moment.
And that was interim manager for Atlanta United, Rob Valentino, as the team prepares to host Nashville SC. Heard his comments about the departure of Carlos Bocanegra from the team. Obviously, personal relationship there. Really didn't answer my dynamic of how it's going to work. I assume he's going to be working with Garth now, the president of the team, and direct interactions there. We'll see what the future holds for Atlanta United. There's potential. There's going to be an upcoming expansion draft, just general player turnover. You have to assume that there is going to be, got to hire, obviously, a new technical director and vice president for the team. All of that going on while the team is making a playoff push on the field. So it's a lot going on there for Atlanta. But I said, outside of Verano Hernandez, the team should be healthy and ready to go against Nashville. And that does include Dax McCarty, a player who has announced his retirement at the end of this season. We were able to attend his press conference. He starts off talking about his retirement plans or his approach to his upcoming retirement from professional football, and obviously the thoughts on the departure of Carlos Bocanegra, and then ultimately preparing to face Nashville on September 14th. Let's get to Dax and hear his thoughts.
Decision? Have you bought suspenders, a fishing pole, and place in the villages?
I'm watching a lot of Golf Channel. Yeah. Watching a lot of Golf Channel, trying to figure out how Scotty Scheffler is able to win with his mechanics and his feet. It's very strange. I went to the range the other day. I tried to recreate it, and I shanked every ball into the woods. So a lot to work on still, but yeah, just going to be a lot of golfing in my future.
In all seriousness, though, how has the decision kind of settled with you now that's been announced?
Yeah, it's been great, honestly. I feel really at peace with it. You know, there is an aspect of it being bittersweet. I really enjoy coming out and training every day. I enjoy nights like the other night we had in Charlotte. Those are just really special moments that, you know, those post-game win vibes in the locker room, which, you know, there haven't been enough of those this year for me or for us as a group. And you really start to cherish those moments way more, and even being present and coming out here every day. Yeah, it's been a weight lifted off my shoulders, and so I just feel really at peace with it. Obviously, had some great conversations with people that I care about and I love, and I think the overriding theme is that I'm excited for the next month and a half, 2 months, to see how things finish up, and then really excited about the future.
Is there anything specific that you're focused on these next 7 matches?
The noise really, coming out of that truck. Yeah, first of all,
it's scary.
Belts.
Some bad belts on the.
So go ahead.
Truck. So, is there anything in these next 7 matches that you're really trying to absorb, really trying to focus on?
You know, it's funny you asked that. I've been really focused and present from the moment I get to the stadium until the moment that I leave since the beginning of the year, because I didn't know how this year would end up for me. So As far as that goes, I mean, I've really soaked in the atmospheres, whether I'm starting the game or whether I'm not starting the game. You try to look around in the crowd, try to see the stands fill up, try to wave to the people you care about who are there to support you, and then in the game you try to just stay present. I mean, that's the main thing. It's not it's something that you've done repetitively for 19 straight years, and it's going to be coming to an end. And so there's obviously an element of sadness about it, but there's also an element of peace with it. And I've learned throughout the years the way that I go about my business, the routine, that's what keeps you going. That's the stuff you look forward to, is almost the monotony of just every day keeping it the same, right? And then just focused on contributing in any way that I can, whether that was starting in LA, or coming off the bench in Charlotte, or if I don't play at all. There are things that I can provide to the team that I think make small differences, and if those little small differences can add up to a player playing well that's playing ahead of me, or the team doing well on a set piece, or just any little detail that we can all contribute to making the team better for, that's what I'm going to try to do these last 6-7 games, and then hopefully into the playoffs as well.
Nashville is still alive in the playoff hunt. The Yellow obviously still alive in the playoff hunt. It's a home match. What's the key to just making sure you finish them off quickly, I guess?
I've mentioned it in the past. I don't think we've started too many games at home very well. I think we've been too slow to get off, to get out of the blocks, and I really want to see us start well against Nashville, start with aggression, parlay for me, the confidence and the momentum we gained in Charlotte into this game in front of our home fans. So the last time we played at home, those couple games left a bitter taste in our mouths. I had some pretty harsh words for us as a group, and it feels like, we are in a better place now to go and to attack our home games, because I think we have 4 left. Mm-hmm. And if you have 4 home games left and you're on the playoff bubble, but you control your own destiny, you should feel good about getting into the playoffs, right? And so for us, let's take it one game at a time. Nashville is obviously the team that's next on the schedule, and they're below us. And so our job is to keep them below us, and how we do that is a good start, scoring multiple goals, while also continuing to have that defensive solidity that we had in Charlotte, which for me was one of the best all-around team performances defensively that we've had all year.
How do you handle, obviously, since we last talked, major change in front office with Carlos's departure? You as a veteran of this league and having just all these different players in the locker room, how do you handle that, help the guys handle that major transition with the team?
Well, I think if you've been in this business for long enough, everyone understands that changes are going to be made, especially when seasons haven't gone according to plan. And so it's bittersweet, just like it was when Gonzalo departed. I always look at it like I feel a small sense of responsibility, when people that are in the front office, whenever they lose their jobs, there's always an element of the players feeling like they could have done more. And I want to personally thank Carlos, just like I thank Gonzalo, because Carlos was one of the main reasons I came here. He was one of the main guys I talked to and spoke with. And so I'm very grateful to him for giving me the opportunity to come here and to be a part of this great organization and play in front of these fans. And without him, I'm probably not here. And so look, I have a personal relationship with him. I played in the national team with him a few times. And so these situations aren't easy, but these are situations that happen everywhere in the world, including MLS. And so I know that he's going to land on his feet somewhere. He's a really bright, smart guy who has a fantastic reputation. And so, he's not going to have an issue getting another job. And so I wish him the best moving forward. But for us, we just have to accept it and move on. We have to try to focus on what we can control. And what we can control is what we have in front of us. And that's trying to get 3 points against Nashville.
Knowing Nashville as well as you do, and I know they're evolving a little bit with BJ in charge there, what stands out to you that makes them dangerous for you guys this weekend?
Well, like you said, they are evolving a little bit. We've watched some video on them. I've seen them play just because I still have relationships there, and I enjoy watching my friends play. So, they are trying to play a little bit differently. And I think with any change, the overriding sentiment is that there's going to be growing pains. No question about it. But the thing that I hear out of Nashville is that the guys are really excited about some of these changes that are being made. They really enjoy training. They really enjoy trying to implement some of the new ideas that BJ is trying to execute with the team. And so they're a dangerous team. I don't have to go over their players because you guys all know Hani Mukhtar, Sam Surridge, Walker Zimmerman. These are elite players in MLS, and they still have the ability to win a game anywhere in MLS, including Atlanta. So for me, it's just making sure that we don't allow them to get comfortable. We don't allow them to get into a rhythm, because they have been better with the ball, and they actually have been creating a lot more chances than they were earlier in the season. They just are a little bit snake bit in front of goal. And so, the more chances that they get, the likelihood is that they're going to start finishing those. And so we have to make sure that doesn't happen against us. And we have to make sure we start on the front foot, score some goals early, and try to make sure we keep the ball away from them, because they are much better in possession than they were in the past.
You mentioned the good feelings after the Charlotte win. So that'll be 2 weeks since that game, between this game you guys play on Saturday. When you try to enjoy those wins, especially the way the season's gone, do you try to maybe create some sort of carryover into the next game because you're coming off a win, even if it's been like a longer layoff? I mean, how do you use that win, I guess is my question, to kind of carry on to the stretch run and keep those good vibes going?
Well, it's all about confidence, and it's about the way we approach the game. I think that we approached the game in Charlotte with almost a quiet confidence, knowing that we were going to come out of that game with a result, and that it was a direct rival right ahead of us. That actually took 3 points from us on our home field, and we used that as motivation. And so we have to continue to find ways to motivate ourselves and to find motivation to continue to pick up points as we march towards the playoffs. I mean, I think the confidence that we showed on the road in a hostile environment was a really, really good step in the right direction. I felt like against LA, one of the best teams in the league, one of the best teams in the West, we almost took our foot off the pedal in the second half, and we lost a little bit of that solidity that we had found throughout that game, and we continued that in Charlotte, but we were able to produce it for 90 minutes. Against LA, we only produced it for 60 or 70 minutes. And so when you can put together a 90-minute performance where Brad doesn't have to make any spectacular saves, where our back line is really secure, and where we get a goal and then we're really dangerous on the counterattack, as we were against Charlotte, where we could have probably added another 1 or 2 goals to make it more comfortable for ourselves, we have to do that. And we haven't done it enough at home. We've either gone behind too early at home, or we've scored and then let the opponent back into the game. And so there's a lot of positives to take from the Charlotte game. And like I said, we're going to be confident, and we're going to use that to try to continue to go and get 3 points against Nashville.
All right, now Dax McCarty speaking with the media earlier this week as the team continues its preparations for its home contest against Nashville SC on September 14th. It's the team that is below Atlanta, or in the bottom half of MLS in points. So a team that Atlanta does have the on-paper advantage over, but the urgency is there. 7 matches left in the regular season before the MLS playoffs. Atlanta does find itself in the playoff picture right now, but at the very bottom end of the playoff picture. So definitely a big contest for Atlanta as they get prepared. We just got word from Atlanta United that Ronald Hernandez is ruled out for the contest against Nashville due to an ankle injury, and then Quentin Westberg continues to be in concussion protocol for Atlanta. So that is the latest news from the team. We just got that email while we're recording this episode about the player availability. So that's two less players for Atlanta to have available as they prepare for this crucial contest against Nashville. Well, thank you for listening and watching this latest edition of the Original Free Kick. As always, head to the mothership, thesportsinquirer.net, for premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up. And also, you can go to our audio and video hosts, including YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and more. Just search for us under E. Marcel Pertut, Etienne Marcel Pertut, or the Sports Inquirer. Until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.